Hey guys, welcome to another Source Gaming Smash for Switch discussion. I'm your host Tris, and I'm joined by Source Gaming video lead Nantanjix
Hello everyone.
to discuss what items could be in the next Smash. So, to start things off here, let's talk about the items already in the game.
Okay.
Do you think any of them would be updated or replaced? Because we got that a lot from even just Brawl to Smash for Wii U and 3DS, with like the home run bat changing, and even just the little visual designs of like the Smash Ball and Assist Trophy changing.
I could see some of the visual designs changing for the more generic ones, obviously, like the baseball bat. The proximity mine, it changes every single game. I could see them changing it again. Same for the sword. It depends how many assets they reuse from Smash for Wii U for whatever the next game is. But I could see any of them being updated visually. Now, in terms of actually being any items being replaced, I can see items being removed. I think items will definitely get removed. There are a few items that I think, like the Gus Bellows and the Beetle from Zelda, I think both of them will probably be taken out. Like, Zelda got a lot of items this time, and I think that there's room to cull some items. So I think those are both gone. Because I think if you look at the items that were taken out from Brawl to Smash for Wii U, it's stuff like the Cracker Launcher, which was the really powerful rocket launcher item, and then the fan got taken out, which was a series staple, but that was also a really powerful one. And I think I could see some of the more random or strong ones being removed. I could see the special flag from Namco Bandai's that could be removed as well.
I could easily see that, and the Beetle and Gus Bellows, like you were saying, simply due to power being removed, because it's, especially the Beetle, I feel like the Beetle is almost impossible to deal with. It seems kind of random if it lets you off, but instead of killing you.
Yeah, so that's why I think both of them, they were good ideas, but I think they're not very well liked, and they are very strong, and so they'll be the first to go. Series staples like the baseball bat and the ray gun and the super scope will probably always stay. Same for the bumper. So you got to look at the new ones that they've added. Maybe the smoke ball will go.
I can see that.
It's inoffensive, and so I don't think removing it changes much. But
no, that makes sense.
Yeah, gooey bomb will probably stay though, because they'll need to use that for Mega Man anyway. So.
No, that makes sense. I'm mostly thinking like, because the main thing I'm having trouble picking is other exact items that you haven't named that would be removed or replaced. So I'm thinking like kind of like with like the home run bat and such, what could get like visual upgrades, and I'm thinking based on like what comes from what series, and I don't know why, but the one that comes to mind is how between the different games, the Fire Flower from Mario took a while to reach its like current look.
Yeah, that's true.
And that made me look at like the banana peels, which saved them from Mario, not Donkey Kong, even though Diddy Kong throws them.
And they don't.
And if they come from Mario, they don't have like little faces.
On them, do they?
No, they don't. Like they look more like exactly like the bananas that Diddy Kong throws. So it makes me wonder if they'll hopefully make it like the Mario Kart ones, where they're a little more yellow and green, and had little faces.
See, I think they could. I have a feeling that the reason they don't have that is because Diddy Kong uses them. Like almost like I don't know which came first in Brawl, but I feel like he gave it to Diddy Kong to be a generic banana peel, but then like banana peels themselves don't actually show up in Donkey Kong, and they do what they do in Mario Kart. So whoever was in charge of the trophies put it to Mario instead. I mean,
that makes sense.
The same thing happens with the stopwatch. It's listed as being from Mario, which it is, I guess, but it's also from Zelda. And actually, the soccer ball is just a generic soccer ball, but it's being listed as being from Mario because of Mario Strikers instead of soccer, which is actually what it looks like it's from. But
and any chance of that getting updated to look like the one from Mario Strikers Charge just won't happen now that they've
too late,
now that they've simplified Mario Soccer. Oh well.
So I think like for me, it's really hard to figure out what to do with items, because unlike characters and stages and even assist trophies, Like, Sakurai has never really made a proper comment on how he decides, how items are decided, whether he does it, whether a team does it, what they look for, and stuff like that. So it's just a... I think there are some hints we can gather. Like, Zelda didn't get any new characters, and got about the same amount of stages as normal, but it got a ridiculous amount of items. And I think that's because Zelda is a series that has, Link has a lot of tools and stuff, and so they can easily represent Zelda more through the items. And so I think there are some things they take into consideration like that. Also, obviously, like, Kid Icarus got a bunch of items because of Uprising, and Uprising has a whole bunch of tools.
Yeah.
So, like, I think there are certain elements to look at, but we don't know for sure, because he's never really talked about it.
Right. In terms of other changes, though, the only other one that comes to mind, for some reason almost immediately, is either the steel diver or the ray gun being replaced with the guns from Mario and Rabbids, which do kind of the same sort of things that I feel like has become a big enough hit that if the Rabbids don't get in Smash, I think it'd be interesting if these did.
I think,
just the little arm guns.
I think they could replace it, although I have a feeling that because Ubisoft worked on Mario and Rabbids, they might just think it's easier to keep Steel Diver as the one. But you're right. They do the same. They do the same thing, and if they want to represent something different, something newer, then they could replace previous ones with stuff from new games.
Yeah, and that's actually a good segue into our next kind of focus, which is, should new items focus on newer game releases or older games, or should it just be a blending of both?
I think a blending of both is good, but what I'm thinking of is we have a lot of the big item staples, I guess you would say. Like, when you look at Nintendo games and what they bring, there are certain items that are iconic, like the Mega Mushroom and the Starman, and like shells and stuff like that, but we already kind of have all of them already. And so what I would say is, rather than thinking about it as like newer game or older game, although if I had to pick between them I would say newer, I think they should look at representing series that aren't represented in other ways, like series that don't have characters, series that don't get stages, like Steel Diver. Steel Diver is the perfect example of an item, because it allows Nintendo to make reference to a not as big a series, not a series which has any distinguishable characters, but they can represent it still and give it a place in Smash via the items, and I think that's a really good way. I think the flipper in Melee was a good one, which represented Balloon Fight, and then was replaced with the... Well, I guess it replaced the bumper and got re-replaced with the bumper from Pinball.
Yeah.
And like, I like stuff like that. Animal Crossing had the pitfall in Brawl. I think looking to newer series like that would be a not necessarily newer series, but series that aren't represented in any other way is, in my opinion, the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like, I think if it has a better focus on, like newer things, like for example, majority of the Zelda items we saw came from Skyward Sword.
Yeah, that's true.
So they were all like from recent things. So I think that's a good thing. But at the same time, I think there should be a bit of a blend. Like, we should still see some older things, such as the special flag from Namco that we got. Like, some older items and references in there, I think is a good thing to have. But primarily focus on newer things, because I think new fans and people getting it are more likely to get the references because, like, oh, I was just playing that game the other day, kind of situation.
Third-party items are an interesting case in general, because we only have the flag from Namco, and then, I mean, Sonic doesn't have any items, Mega Man didn't get any items, Pac-Man, I guess, technically got one, Snake didn't get any in Brawl, and none of the DLC characters got items, so, like, that's something that I'm wondering. I feel like it's just a rights thing, and they just, can't be bothered to negotiate it. I don't know what it is when they argue it. Maybe these series just don't have anything good to represent them for with items. But that's another point that I think might be interesting to look in the future, whether or not they want to represent even like third-party series with items, like big series, maybe like Tetris, that don't have a playable character, but could maybe be represented in an item somehow.
I think Tetris would be a better assist trophy, just because of how dynamic it would be.
Yeah.
So moving on a bit though, because I think we've kind of given our definitive answer on that.
Yes.
So if we each had to pick one item specifically from a series already in the game or represented in the game, be it the characters or items,
Okay.
what would you add?
Okay. Should I go first then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you want me to.
Well, I can do it. So,
Okay.
one series that seemingly gets a lot of love, that's what everyone says about Smash, is Fire Emblem. Yet, people forget that Fire Emblem doesn't really have any items at all in the game. It's all their focus has been on characters and then a tiny bit on stages. Like it's got at least one new stage in every game so far, and then that's it. It has the one assist trophy with Lyn, and that's it. So, completely out of their option, which I know I saw a lot of people throwing about, was that rather than have a new character in the next time, we expand on the items. And obviously the big thing about Fire Emblem is its characters. So I was thinking of using the Breeder Blick, which for Fire Emblem Heroes fans is the gun that they use that allows you to summon heroes. So it would essentially be like the Pokeball and Assist Trophy, but exclusively for Fire Emblem characters. That way you can represent more heroes, more of the popular characters from the series, and you wouldn't necessarily need to add a new playable character to do it. It's a bit out there because it technically means that rather than adding just one item, you have to add, another 20 assist characters.
Yeah.
So as a backup to this, I've also put a staff from Fire Emblem, and it can just heal you, or you can heal a partner or something like that. I think that's
also like the team healer.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That was my backup. That one's more reasonable. But if I could go all out, I think the Breeder Blick is something I would like to see, just to have more Fire Emblem characters show up.
That's a really interesting idea, though, and I think that'd be probably one of the better ways to do something like that, because not many other series could get a representation in that way properly.
Yeah.
So that's actually a really interesting way to go about it. And then all the characters that aren't good enough, so to say, or have enough to get in as actual playable characters, they can come in doing one signature move or something.
Yes.
That's interesting. For me, I went a little more. I was thinking a little more simple, I was thinking on simpler terms, and I was thinking similar to the Nintendo Assist Trophy. You can just get a blooper item that would kind of like in Mario Kart, just spray ink on the screen, and then makes it hard for everybody to see. So it's a slightly disadvantageous to use, but at the same time, I think it would be a good way to kind of get away from a lot of moves.
Yeah, actually that works. I think translating Mario Kart items is a very simple one. I mean, we have the banana peel, the lightning bolt, the bullet bill, the blue shell.
Yeah. And that's why I was thinking about it. There's a precedence of some Mario Kart items, but not too many. Which, actually, Mario Kart items is the best segue for the next thing, which I said. The next topic is for each of us to pick an obscure item to add, something that's kind of unprecedented or rarely precedented. So I'll go first for this one because I was talking about Mario Kart, and I was thinking of the Piranha Plant item from Mario Kart, where you just hold it, or I guess also technically Super Mario 3D World, where you just hold it and it just goes ballistic biting in front of you. And you just chase your opponents around with it, but I guess the trade-off would be you can't really attack during it, you can only jump and move.
Yeah.
While it just goes ballistic.
You could throw it at people and then it acts like, it bites around that local area.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I could see that. I think I understood a bit what you meant by obscure item, because I decided to choose something that, it's a weird, obscure area, right? So I've seen a few people talking about it, and we actually did an article about it on the site, but it's not really from any game, and it's not something that most people would know. And that's the Ultra Hand from, real life, because it was an actual Nintendo physical toy that they made. And it's a weird one, because they've done the Super Scope, which again is an actual physical toy that got made, and Rob is also a physical toy. But the Ultra Hand just seems so obvious for an item that I don't quite get why it's not been done yet. It's because essentially,
would it just be for a ranged grab?
Yeah, essentially it'd just be a ranged grab. You have it, and when you press the button, it extends and grabs someone, just brings them to you, and then it automatically takes you into your grabbing stance. So
Ooh.
for some characters it'd be a little pointless, like Link and Samus.
Mm-hmm.
But for the majority
Right.
of the cast, they don't have ranged grabs, so it would be beneficial to them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why
Ooh,
it hasn't been used
really
before,
interesting.
because maybe part of the point of items is it has to benefit every single character. But
I suppose.
I just feel like it's such an obvious pick, right? Because it's already an item in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So,
No, I completely agree. And I think the way to make it not be quote-unquote powerful would be so that it does not work as a tether grab, which is what those characters with the distance grabs have.
Yeah, that's true.
So prevent it from being a tether grab, but still let it be a ranged grab. Huh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although, actually, maybe to balance it out a little bit, it does a random throw from there. So it's not like you get... Or maybe it only lets you pummel or something, just so... Because otherwise that'd be really overpowered for characters that have really good like grab combos.
Well, the way I was thinking of it is that if you do grab someone, then that's it. It goes after that. So you can only
yeah, I
like
see.
you can use it a few times to try and grab people, but once you've grabbed someone, that's it. You've lost it.
Okay, I see.
Like, because then
Yeah,
that's
no,
how
that
it
makes
goes
sense
into
then.
the normal grab.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, okay, that's definitely more obscure than I went. But I actually had a second pick for an obscure item, which I guess is a little more in line with that.
Okay.
And it's obscure more in the sense of how it functions.
Okay.
Which, for basically in Brawl, there was one of the rare Pokemon, Manaphy, which did the heart swap, which made you control the other character. It changed who was controlling which character. And I was thinking of doing that again in the form of an item being Cappy from Mario Odyssey. So to keep like new game relevancy and also just silliness, or he spawns an item kind of rare, and then when you throw him, you swap. I know that's not exactly how it works in the game, but I think it'd be something interesting, and then it can add like a little funny look to each character.
Could be funny, yeah.
So moving on, the last final big topic where we're picking items is from a series that does not already have a rep.
Okay,
You kind of hit
Spillover.
upon that with the Ultra Hand, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, do you want to go first for this, or should I?
Yeah, I can go first with this. I struggled with this one a bit,
Okay.
trying to think through all my knowledge of Nintendo games for ones that are like
Mhm.
specifically items, and I didn't want to say like a character, like because I know that in Melee he considered having Sokopon be a item.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to say that because I feel like with assist trophies now they fit more in the assist trophy category. So in the
Right.
end, I ended up settling something kind of plain, and I went with Splatoon. And I thought a splat roller could make for an interesting item. Like you pick it up, and if you hold down the A button and move, it just runs in a straight line running over. See, I think if the Inklings were
Yeah.
actually in the game, they'd probably use the splat roller as part of their moveset.
Right.
So like it wouldn't work as an item, but as they're not in the game already yet, I can get away with saying that. So
it's really funny because I also picked an item from Splatoon.
oh really?
I picked the Auto Bomb, which like when you throw it, it kind of chases an opponent
that's
nearby
much
and
better
then
than
it
mine.
explodes.
That's much better than mine. I didn't even think about the secondary weapons. That makes far more sense.
Because I was thinking the kind of like bombs or explosive we already have in the game are more like the Ba-Bomb, the Bomb Chew, but nothing that really chases the opponent. And it wouldn't chase for long, but I think it'd be kind of interesting to have this dynamic where it doesn't have to move very far. And I know it's technically not like an explosion; it's an explosion of ink.
Yeah.
But it can do the same kind of damage, maybe just not the the knockback that the explosive items have.
Yeah, no, I could see that. Like, it would come out as ink, but it would essentially be the same thing. It's just an aesthetic difference, yeah. Okay, yeah, alright, well, Splatoon, yeah, it's probably the easiest to get items from. I was trying to think of maybe something from ARMS, but they only really work because they have extendable arms, and so you'd have to add that in. I don't think that works, and I couldn't think of anything from a more obscure title either. So, oh well.
The only thing I could really think of for arms would be to have like kind of like what you had for the Ultra Hand of a longer grab, would
extendable
essentially just be like one of the gloves, and you just shoot it out and it grabs them.
So I think that
Right.
kind of does everything we wanted to talk about, right?
Yep, so that definitely about wraps this up. So, obviously, make sure you guys let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or on Twitter or Discord, pretty much anywhere you can find us. So, where can people find you, Nintenjix?
So obviously, yeah, the Source Gaming YouTube channel. I post a lot of videos up there. Got some reviews that have just come out, etc. And you can find me at Twitter at Mr. Nintendo. So that's probably the easiest way to contact me, or our Discord. You just like, if you can't find a link, just ask on Twitter at All Source Gaming for for an invite to the Discord. We'll just send it to you straight away. Yeah, those are probably the best ways to get hold of me.
Alright, and you guys can find me, Tris, on Twitter at tsfeeling25, or also posting videos here on the YouTube channel, or over on my own Let's Play channel, Weehee. But I'm also pretty active in the Discord. So, overall, make sure to subscribe to Source Gaming and stay up to date for more content like this, as well as many news updates, reviews, and so much more. Alright, bye guys.
Bye, guys.